Bienvenidos amigos, we're back, we're in for another video, so this is going to be an intro. Now where are we? We're in the Dominican Republic. So que lo que to my buddies in Dominican Republic, to MR2 Daily Driven, Steven, hey, I'm in your country. So anyways, we're here in DR, I'm here with the family, so we're having some vacation, getting ready for the holidays, and I got some exciting stuff for you here. So we're going to do something a little bit different for 2023, so just let me show you what's going on. Stay tuned. Well guys, we're back in Miami. As you saw, that was a very short introduction to DR. We were planning to do more footage, but you know what? We said, forget about the footage, let's just enjoy our vacation, which we did. DR is an amazing place. Had really good time, good food. And if you're ever thinking of doing a Caribbean tour, I mean, I'm Jamaican, so I'm always gonna recommend Jamaica. The vibes is just different in Jamaica, that I can say, but DR is pretty interesting as well. So check those out. We're actually in Punta Cana. But we're back today, and we got to do some MR2 content because that's what our channel is all about. And I know you guys are seeing, hey, look, you're looking at this engine, you're like, oh, he's going to come back with the same thing again. So yes and no, we're going to have to, you know, it's an MR2, nothing really changes. We still have to continue to work on the vehicle and improve it. And today's video, I'm going to tell you what we have planned for 2023, what's actually going on right now, and you know, what you guys have to look forward to. So we're going to evolve the channel, we're going to continue to grow, we're going to continue to do exciting stuff that keep you guys engaged. I spent some time, you know, over the last 2 weeks just looking for MR2 videos. There's nothing out there, guys. So if you're into MR2s, please support the channel. Tell your friends. Let's build some subscriptions. We got to expand this garage. You got to start making some money on YouTube. So help me out. With that said, let's jump right into what I'm sitting on. So this is an extra S54 tranny that I had, and I happen to have a Gen 4 engine sitting beside me, so they kind of go hand in hand. Now I had this, I got it when I bought the 91 MR2, so thank you, Mr. Cody. Really appreciate you guys getting me the car and an extra transmission. And it was messy. I'll probably stick a picture in here. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the before. But I kind of went at it with some wire brush, some sandpaper, and just like the one that we put in Gen 5, if you have been following the channel since then, we got it looking pretty clean. So here you go. This is an extra S54, nicely cleaned up. So if we grenade anything, we have something to work with, but just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that. So a little time and effort, a little wire brush goes a long way. I didn't bore you guys with what it is, but like I said, a wire brush, some sandpaper, some effort, some time. You can get your tranny looking as good as this before you install it. So let's move on to the Gen 5 because it's running great. Install, as you guys saw, went pretty good. Car is running good, it's boosting. Pulls hard now that we put the boost controller on. But I think with that said, I know the radiator was going to be a weak point on this car because it has the factory radiator. I think it's the original from 93. And I've noticed when I drive it and I put it on boost, when I come back, I see a little drip under the front of the car. And I'm not trying to drive this thing far and then end up with the radiator blowing and I have to tow it home, or worse, it overheats or anything. So I'm going to show you where it looks like it's cracked, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to do to fix that. But keep on watching because we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. So let's head over to the Gen 5 and show you what's going on. Alright, so this looks much better here in the garage. It was dirty sitting on this stack of tires for a while, and I prefer it looking nice and clean. So hey, I'm happy. Little things that make you happy in life. Anyways, here is our Gen 5 Turbo MR2 white, just like the white TRD MR2 as I call it. And if we come over here, so I removed the plastic piece. You gotta remove this dude that sits right here. So I took that off because underneath the car, right under here, we were getting some coolant spots underneath. And as I look right down in here, I mean, I could get a flashlight and I could show you, but you're just gonna have to take my word for it. But right along here on the end tanks, it just looks like there is some type of coolant leaking. So when I drive it, I'll see some coolant splashed up here, splashed up on the hood right here. And that just means this radiator is not compromised. I checked the hoses to make sure it's not a hose that's going bad and leaking. So that's not it. It's not the bleeder screws, so it has to be the radiator. So we're gonna have to get that taken out. I did order some radiator hoses because I'm gonna replace the hoses. So those are not here yet. So that's kind of the reason why you're not seeing me working on this, but something to look forward to. So we'll get that radiator replaced. Here it can be painful to get the hoses off. The rest should be pretty easy, but either way we're gonna have to deal with it. So we're gonna have to work through that. Now let me show you what I have to replace it. I ordered the hoses, but the radiator is, I've had this radiator, I actually got it with that car when I bought it, because the gentleman who sold me the car was nice enough to give me an extra aluminum radiator. It's not brand new to use, so, you know, I have to cross my fingers and hope it works. So far it looks pretty good, but it's an aluminum piece. I'm pretty sure it's not like a brand name radiator, it's probably a generic one, but it has all the right tabs here and the sensors, and everything seems to be intact. I had this thing covered up here just to kind of protect the face of it. Let me just take it off real quick. I've had this stored for about 1.5 years now, and I was trying to keep it because I knew one day this radiator would be an issue. Probably should have replaced it when I did the swap, but I was gonna wait. So here you go. Looks pretty decent. So I'm gonna replace it, hope for the best that this thing is not compromised. And the good thing is it comes with some aftermarket fans, which I believe should work as well as the factory system. And it looks like it has the factory plugs already. So that's a good thing. It looks like they were wired in here. So whoever had this before probably had it on MR2, and for whatever reason, I have no. So that's gonna be the upgrade. But let's now talk about the 91 MR2. So the TRD MR2, I know you guys have been patiently waiting. We have this car, we gotta do something with it. I almost bought a red MR2 because, you know, I got 2 white MR2s and I really want a red MR2. I don't know, call it age, midlife crisis, whatever you call it. But I have the need for a red MR2, and this is what I have, a white one. So I did some stripes, changed it up a little bit, went ahead, got this engine, had this engine built or restored. Built is when I guess you rip it apart, but everything was restored. Looks pretty decent. Wiring is done, everything is done. It just needs to literally slap that transmission on, which could be that one, could be the one I take out of here. I went ahead and I started putting on the boost controller. So we're gonna go straight boost on this. I like this one, we're putting it in stock form, and then we did the boost controller. This one we're going fully modified. But, you know, for now, we got the 5S. So this is the original 91 5S FE. Runs pretty decent. The only issue I have with this thing, honestly, is when you start it up, we get a bunch of smoke coming out of the exhaust for like a minute or two, and it clears up and it runs fine. If you drive it regularly, you won't have an issue, but for the most part, it runs great, but it does smoke. So this is coming out, this will get sold. I kind of put that in there, so anybody who is interested in buying this engine, you'll know it runs fine, no issues, but it does smoke on startup. Whatever causes that, I don't know. Initially, I was thinking maybe PCV valve, just a 91 model. I don't even see a PCV valve in here. So maybe there's like some leak on from the, what do you call it, rings or something? I don't know, not sure. But anyways, this is what we have. So this has to go. At some point, this has to go. And, you know, we got that, but, oh, wait a second. Oh, what is this? Oh, what is this doing here? Camera lady, did you put this in here?
No.
No? Hmm. Does anybody know what this is? Now I have to figure out what's going on. Stay tuned. V6 in the house. Mr. Hart delivered again. You guys probably figured it out from the minute I popped this out. If you know your MR2s, you know what this is. So clearly it's not for this, it's for what you just saw getting out to the truck. We got a 2GR FE engine, which is what a lot of you guys in the audience have been saying we should be doing. And if you think about it, hey, we did a Gen 5 3SGTE, we've restored a Gen 4, what else can we do, right? Obviously we can't keep doing the same thing over and over on this channel because you guys get bored and run away, and we're still waiting on more subscribers, hint hint. So let's get right into it. For 2023, our build is gonna be to put a 2GR FE into this 91 MR2. You guys are gonna see everything, every last detail from start to finish. You know, the guys like Wilhelm, Frankenstein Motorworks, they've done an awesome job. I mean, Frankenstein Mark has pioneered this install, but we're gonna do it with the average guy, like we've always said, sitting in your garage, ordering up some parts and trying to make this thing work and get it fired up. So that's what we have going on for 2023. Let's get right over to the engine so you can see what I got. All right, guys, so here we have it. The 2GR FE is in the house. It made it to the Batanan's garage. So what I got is a 2014 Toyota Avalon 2GR. So kind of newish, you know, 2014. It had 81,000 miles. Actually got it off eBay, and yeah, took a chance, bought it off eBay. As you guys know, I was having a challenge trying to source one of these things because I didn't want to get it crazy expensive and I didn't want to get it crazy mileage. So I think at 81,000 miles is pretty decent. The good thing, which I'm kind of crossing my fingers on, they had a video of this thing started up before they removed it from the car, so I felt a little bit confident with that. And of course, my buddy Craig, who helped me to, you know, the logistics of getting it here, he signed off on it. So, you know, I never buy any engines without Craig because that's his core business. That's what he does for a living. So you gotta trust your buddies who know what they're doing, right? So we're fairly confident this is gonna work well, but the only thing I don't like about it, it has a lot of oxidation. So this is actual stuff I kind of started cleaning, but all of this oxidation, it's a car from up north. So a lot of oxidation, we gotta get that removed. This gives you a better view because I kind of started messing with that. But you kind of see here, this valve cover is a good example of what this engine looks like. But it's dry, doesn't look like there are any oil leaks. So we're still gonna go ahead and tear a lot of this down and rebuild. The water pump right here spins freely. These pulleys, the tensioner, it's free. This one is a little bit rough, but we'll go ahead and replace all of this. So quite some work here, and I can tell you guys one thing: building a Gen 5, Gen 4 3SGTE, it's a process. And it's debatable. Yes, it's bolting. It's not that it's any more difficult from what I researched. I can tell it's a lot more expensive because a lot of the parts that you would get to put this in the car, for example, that engine mode, you know, it's not like you got 10 vendors selling it, right? There are one person or 2 or 3 guys in the market for this type of stuff, and you kind of have to get it from those folks. And that's where it adds up, because where are you going to go? Either you're going to get creative, do it yourself, or you have to buy the stuff from these guys. And I understand why they charge that, because it's not like, there's not like everybody in the world doing these swaps. So you're going to have to be willing. The engine is probably the cheapest part of the process, so I start off by telling you guys that. And then it's stripped beer, unlike the 3SGTEs that you get from Japan. They come with a whole bunch of parts you can reuse. This stuff, they kind of strip the engine, so you gotta get alternator, AC, etc., etc. But that's another video, we'll get into it. For now, I just wanted you guys to see what we're up to for 2023, what we have in the, in our fortress here, in our garage, whatever you want to call it, or however you want to say it. So yeah, here it is. I gotta get the wire harness off. For our next video, we'll take that off. We gotta send that out to wire gap, then remove the intake manifold and just start tearing this thing down, getting cleaned up, because before we fix and rebuild, we gotta clean, right? Gotta get it clean. So here's the front. Let's move on to the back. I'll show you guys the back of the engine. Again, as I spoke about that heavy oxidation, it's just, yeah, it's there, let me tell you. It's a lot of oxidation because this is an all aluminum engine. This section, started cleaning it, so that's as good as I was able to get it. No chemicals, just literally a wire brush and some sandpaper. But you guys know me. I'll spend the time, I'll invest it, and we'll get this thing looking sharp. So this is where we're at, guys. We got the 91 MR2, we got the 2GR FE, and the build is going to officially start in 2023. So hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas. That was yesterday. Just kind of putting the timeline on these videos, and probably by next week we're getting into the new year, so we'll probably fully start working on this thing. It's a learning process, so if you have any advice, if you've done this before, I welcome that advice. We will take all your advice, we'll put all of that into our videos, we'll share it, we'll make sure for whoever goes on this journey to put a 2GR in their car, you kind of have a roadmap right here on this channel, so you can do it. You know, I've got a lot of feedback on the Gen 5, a lot of folks use it to put their engines in, and you know, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy folks are, you know, getting some useful knowledge from this, and hopefully you're entertained in the process. But thank you guys. It's been a great, I think it's like 2 years now we've been going with the channel. Because I started off with that car, then this car, and now 2GR, and who knows if there's going to be a third car, but we got to get a 3-car garage. So with that said, Merry Christmas. Looking forward to, I'll probably talk to you before the new year, but all the best for 2023, and stay tuned, exciting stuff coming up.